There's a legitimate concern about systematic discrimination on the part of broadcasters here. The FCC would pretty much have grounds to go after every broadcaster in America related to DEI policies.
Including, by the way, Fox, which
Absolutely.
has DEI policies.
Absolutely.
Just like all the other networks.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
Ellie.
private entities have the right to fire people if they want, if they don't like that person's speech. But the real fundamental question here has to do with governmental power. Do we want the FCC policing the content of speech? Because that's a totally different thing. The First Amendment applies to governmental action. It doesn't apply directly to ABC. And so if the FCC is throwing its governmental weight around to try to influence speech, to try to punish certain speech, that is where the First Amendment is violated.
Punish, throw your weight around, going back to the first segment. When you talk about regulation, if the biggest thing that's changed since Ronald Reagan's horrible assassination attempt at that same hotel, and we were talking about it in the break, is the internet. Things now on the internet make us want to hate each other because we're team red or team blue, because it makes people literally rich. And the government, whether we should or shouldn't regulate, people scream at me from the right and from the left, we got to be able to go on the internet and say whatever we want to say. That's all right. It's the new town square, a la what Tesla guy said. What's his name?
Elon Musk?
Right. Yeah, it's the new town square. But when you put it in this context, it starts a pattern of what we're talking about, Abby, which is it overreach? Is it regulation? Is it, folks, while again, and I'll stop, people at home are trying to figure out how to make ends meet. They see their government trying to regulate whatever news.
Well, I mean, you're making a good point that for a while it seemed that the free speech argument was the argument being made on the right by people like Elon Musk, by people like J.D. Vance, who last year went to Europe and lectured them about protecting free speech. Listen.
In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat. So I come here today not just with an observation, but with an offer. And just as the Biden administration seemed desperate to silence people for speaking their minds, so the Trump administration will do precisely the opposite, and I hope that we can work together on that. In Washington, there is a new sheriff in town, and under Donald Trump's leadership, we may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square.
Unless you are a late night comedian, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, or frankly anybody who criticizes President Trump, they won't defend your right to say things they disagree with then.
Well, the president's not prosecuting, Jimmy Kimmel. He's saying he should be fired, and that could be his opinion. If you joked about someone's death, which he believed he did, go ahead, criticize him.
Government doesn't necessarily.
So he's using the government to bring something that they brought in March of 2025. They started this in March of 2025.
You can use the government's regulatory power. I'm not talking just about this, because don't forget
that was the lead.
Brendan Carr made this threat first last fall. So the threat of using the government's regulatory power to police speech and police the actions of private corporations, that has been unequivocally put on the table. And I'm not the hold on a second. I am not the only
letter is about the DEI policies.
I am not the only person
Disney
saying that. Here's Ted Cruz today. He says, "It is not the government's job to censor speech, and I do not believe the FCC should operate as the speech police." Ted Cruz. He is no
I would ask you and
Trump
Ted Cruz.
hater. He's no rhino.
Where in Chairman
He believes that this action, and he was consistent. The last comments by Brendan Carr, he was very clear that he believed that was a clear evidence of jawboning, which is using the threat to coerce speech. So it doesn't require that you throw somebody in jail. Just the threat of using regulatory power to coerce their actions
getting threatened.
Is what is happening.
Clear, the FCC is not threatening to throw anybody in jail. It's not
so are you denying that Brendan Carr did not issue a threat in the fall to ABC or to Disney that they
Chairman
would
Carr's
review?
letter in March 2025
Joe, simple question. Did Brendan Carr in the fall say that he would take a look at Disney's FCC licenses because of the comments that Jimmy Kimmel made?
I don't remember, but I can tell you what he
Well, I can tell you. I can tell you. Hold on a second. I can tell you. He did say that. So given that he said that, do you acknowledge that that's him using his power as a government entity to try to coerce the actions of a private company?
You are trying to stretch something that is on paper that you can read with your own eyes and see. The chairman's letter involves Disney's DEI policies, which the FCC has been regulating equal employment practices since something like 1968 or 1969. Every time a license gets renewed, they have to apply the same standards to everybody. And one of those standards is employment practices. If Disney has...
I mean, it's a good question. Why aren't they applying this standard across the board?
Well, when
why
they get their license renewed, they will.
Well, hold on.
But if Disney has nothing to hide about their employment practices, why not
Disney's licenses are not up for renewal.
They're up in 2028.
Yeah, but they are not up for renewal right now.
The way we are talking about this at this table, all of us, exposes that this is a pretext piled atop another pretext. Absolutely. We all know this is not about DEI policies. We're not even really talking about it this way. We know it's about the content of speech. We know it's about the jokes Jimmy Kimmel made. We know it's about the kind of